worshiper, the King of Kings, for Jesus reigns. Over all he reigns. We exalt your name, high above the heavens. We exalt your name. All of creation sings praise, for Jesus reigns. Over all he reigns. Yeah. Your presence fills and satisfies. Tear down the walls we hide behind. Oh God of every aching heart, we long for you in light and dark. For Jesus reigns. Over all he reigns. Oh God.
Hi everyone. I am getting everything set up, so y'all bear with me. I'm getting my speaker in. Bear with me. Okay, Shane, at the bottom of the live, there should be a button there that allows you to request to come in. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, let me know if y'all could hear me. We're about a minute. Want to welcome everyone who is already in here. Hey y'all. Hey girl, hey. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. We're gonna get started in a few minutes. Trying to see if I can get Shane. All right. See if Shane. It's adding and connecting. So, hey Shane.
How you doing?
I can't hear. Hold on 1 second. I can't hear. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good, good.
Can you hear me?
I can. Perfect,
Okay.
perfect. Okay. So I'm so excited that you are our special guest today. It makes my heart really glad. For those of you that don't know Shane, when you get to know Shane, you will love Shane. So I'm glad that you're part of this. And it just makes me glad. But Shane is speaking today about a woman of faith in her life. And in case you haven't heard about what Kingdom Society Apparel is doing, that is my company. I am the founder and the creative of Kingdom Society Apparel. And what we're doing, we're honoring women of faith. And today is just a conversation about it. We want to talk about it. We want people to know how much these women have affected our lives and how much they impacted us and have changed the trajectory of our lives. I can say for me,
Come here, miss.
Shane, I can't see you anymore. Okay, so Shane will be back, but in the conversation of last, I just want to just go ahead and continue. I'm sure Shane will be able to come back in. Last week's conversation, I referenced a scripture in Second Timothy 1 through 7, and it was a letter where Paul had sent Timothy a letter referencing two women in that letter, and both of those women were referenced as nurturing Timothy in his faith. Those two women were his grandmother Lois and his mother Eunice. And even back in the Bible days, it happened, and even modern day, we have women right now that support us and love us and push us into our purpose and our destiny. And so we are talking about those women, and we want to make sure we nominate those women for the Woman of Faith Award. The nominations are open August the 10th. Now, um, I want to introduce our speaker. I want to introduce our special guest, Mrs. Ladybug Park. She is a lover of Christ, visionary leader, purpose pusher. Shane loves people and loves helping people figure out who they are, along with mapping out their journey. Shane taps into her creative side of her personality and can often be in DIY or catering projects. She is a certified event planner and has a BS in psychology with 20 years in management. Currently, Shane serves as a patient experience coordinator for Texarkana Eye Associates, um, now called Eye Doctors. No matter the position, Shane's purpose is to motivate people to be their best selves while increasing profits, productivity, and efficiency. Shane counts it a privilege to say that she has researched, studied, and learned how to transform hobbies into passions and create multiple streams of income. Shane began her entrepreneurial journey with event planning and catering services in 2007. Her valuable customer service experience, along with an array of events, both coordinated and hosted, her business has evolved into services such as website construction, administration, social media marketing, customer service, and brand training, along with conflict resolution and team building. Shane's goal is always to connect people with the assistance and service they need, thereby creating satisfied, lifelong clients and customers for her organization. Most importantly, at the end of the day, she is simply a woman who loves her husband and grand princesses. She she aspires to be an example not only for her children, but to all walks of life. That that if you discover your purpose and work hard, operate in excellence, you can achieve your dreams. Okay, looks like we lost Shane. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can.
You the whole time you were reading, but it's like the screen froze up. I was
Um,
like, no.
I introduced you. I'm gonna hand you over the floor. You go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm gonna talk fast because Facebook never loves me on lives. So, um, my woman of faith, her name is Miss Glennis um, Holiday, and I met her a couple of years ago when I was really, really lost after the death of my mom. And I walked into Texarkana Eye Associates, and she was like a ray of sunshine to me. Like you could see Christ all over her. And I had been sincerely praying for deliverance for some serious depression behind grief that I was going through. And I kind of lost my way in my faith a little bit. You know, sometimes I think when we lose people, we question the how, the why. We love God, but the pain is still there. When you're trying to cope with that and get through it, sometimes we lose our way a little bit. And I had. Um, and Miss Glennis loved on me. I would come in, and I'm very productive in the morning, but I don't like to talk. And I've always been that way. And she would pull the smiles out of me in the morning. She would pray with me. She would just sometimes walk up and just hug me, and never say a word, and I could just feel God's love for me through her. She is as the months went by and we got to know each other better, we would talk about Bible studies. And my particular church home at the time was going through a transition, and my pastor was getting ready to move to another church, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to attend that church, so I was a little lost there too. I didn't feel grounded, and so she invited me to Northside, and immediately I just enjoyed my family. And it was the first time my kids had ever said, "Hey, Mom, we're going back." You know, they were really excited. We've been missing it, the online experience, because of quarantine. We really miss our church family. And they just embraced us. And she got me into the women's ministry and just meeting other women, diversity, all walks of life. I'm proud to say that she's lived her life in ministry. Her husband was a pastor, and then they traveled to Texarkana through a series of different ministries, and she leads our women's ministry at Northside along with a couple of other ladies. And her husband has a very debilitating disease. She's got a host of grandkids, always tons of stuff going on, but she always has a smile for me. She inspires me. I can call any time of the day or night, no matter what it is. Stuff going on with my kids, stuff going on at work. We don't work together anymore. She's gone on to a different place to work, but we still have kept that connection. And I've watched her lead and guide so many women through Christ, and sometimes they don't even realize it. You know, there's nothing like a woman who can usher in the presence of Christ to someone who's lost, and you're not fooling them, but sometimes you know that they aren't receptive to the fire and brimstone, the salvation speech. So you have to reach the people and meet the people where they are. And she has really taught me so much about that. And before you know it, you see people come alive in her presence, and it's just made me. I tell her all the time, and I'm going to post a photo of her later in the group so you can see some photos of us together. But I tell her all the time, she has a way of showing people how Christ loves us just in her daily walk. And that inspires me so much, the way she loves on her family and her grandkids, and um, the way God brought her into my life. It's such a motherly, she's like a mama slash that favorite auntie slash that great coworker, all wrapped in one. And even when she's down, I'm not going to say she doesn't question God, but with me and in my walk with her, I see her always try to find the why, the purpose, what I'm going through, how is it going to help the kingdom, how is it going to add to my testimony. And that makes Miss Good is like the most awesome woman of faith outside of my grandmama that I know. But I wanted to give a living example of someone that maybe other ladies could connect with and talk with if they needed to, another resource to reach out. And she does that for me. I was with her yesterday, and she doesn't know I nominated her. I invited her to the conversation, so I was hoping she would get to stop in, because I wanted her to know she was my woman of faith. And she continues to inspire me to be the best Miss Ladybug I can be. Even on the days it's trying at work or trying with my kids, she just inspires me to continue to reach in my heart and strive to show the goodness in me and my love for Christ to other women and be uplifting to other women. That's it. That's all
That's
I got.
awesome, Shane. No, that's awesome. And what I find so often in these great women of faith is that they don't hold back from us. They give us everything that they have, and they
Right.
nurture us, and they're exactly what we need when we need it. And that's the good thing
Amen.
about God. He just sends us exactly what we need when
Exactly
we
what we
need
need.
it. And so we praise God for those women of faith because they do affect
Amen.
our lives so much.
They do. They do.
So awesome. And Shane, I heard you mention that, even through that period, that dark period in your life, you said y'all still are friends, right? That is so
Yeah,
awesome, right?
very
Like
much so. Yeah.
that is I love that because, um I know that in our life, God will send people for certain times. It is to keep that person in your life, right? Like you just
Right.
don't have them for that one part of the journey. You get to keep them along the way. That's such a blessing to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that is all that I have. I did want to mention to everyone that if you are going to be writing for the Woman of Faith magazine, those articles, essays, Bible studies, testimonies, blog posts, poems, prayers, um, make sure that you have those submitted by October the 15th. And if you want to purchase the ad, send me a DM. I will give you all the information about it. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in, and we'll see you next Saturday. Shane, thank you so much.